extend my warm greetings to the Honorable Speaker, Honorable Prime Minister, and other honorable members of the House in India and abroad. It gives me immense pleasure to connect with you all today at the 72nd Republic Day of India. It would have been a delight to address you in person, but for the extraordinary situation forced upon us by the COVID-19 pandemic. Year 2020 has been the year of a global crisis caused by the COVID-19. India has been at the forefront in forging a global response to combat the enormous challenges posed by the pandemic. Our constitution gave us rights as citizens of a free democratic nation, but also placed on us the responsibility to always adhere to the central tenets of our democracy. Those are justice, liberty, equality, and fraternity. It becomes easier for us to follow these constitutional ideals if we keep in mind the life and values of the father of our nation. By doing so, we will be adding a meaningful dimension to our celebrations of the 153rd birth anniversary of Mahatma Gandhi Ji. The Swachh Bharat Abhiyan has achieved astounding success in such a short time. The same spirit can be seen in other endeavors. Be it giving up cooking fuel subsidy or pushing digital payments, the common man has made the government programs his own, making them truly effective. The idea of the world as a large, well-knit family captured in our message of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam strengthens our relations with other nations. We have been sharing our democratic ideals and the fruits of our development with the entire world. The recent success of our scientists and technicians in developing 2 COVID vaccines is a major achievement for the Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan, which is driven by the spirit of global well-being. As India and Indians march forward, we remain committed to engaging the global community to build a secure and prosperous future for ourselves and for the entire humanity. I invite each one of you to be a part of India's transformation story and contribute to it with your ideas, business models, investments, technical expertise, and knowledge sharing. I once again convey my Republic Day greetings to all of you, and I extend my best wishes for your bright future. Thank you.
जन गण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मागे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
Ms. Onijumo Aishit Edikimi, Madam President, please.
Mr. President, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Prime Minister, members of the Lok Sabha, and most of all, the great people of India, I thank you for the great honor of addressing the representatives of more than 1 billion Indians and the world's largest democracy. I will be remembered as the first foreign delegate to address the parliament in the virtual world. The last Nigerian president to address India's Republic Day was General Olusegun Obasanjo. To celebrate the 50th Republic Day of India, I feel privileged to follow the great leadership of my country. It shows the close ties between our two countries. First of all, I want to congratulate India for being elected as a non-permanent member of the UN Security Council for 2021 and 2022. I hope India will stand for issues concerning the Global South. I also convey my appreciation for the way you've handled the pandemic of 2020. We are looking forward to receiving vaccines developed in your laboratories. Bilateral relations between our countries go back to the days of the European Augustus in 2000 BCE through trade. It took modern shape following the independence of both our countries. Today, India is the fifth largest importer of Nigerian crude oil. Our bilateral trade stands at about 2 million USD. We have strong people-to-people relations with 550 Nigerians living in India and 350 Indians living in Nigeria. I hope our ties grow bigger from here. We look forward to hosting you in our beautiful country. Once again, I wish you a happy 72nd Republic Day. Thank you.
Take oath or affirmation. Secretary General, please.
Kumari Rajarajeshwari, who stands elected Impal constituency of Manipur, will now take the oath in English. Kumari Rajarajeshwari, please.
I, Rajarajeshwari Ravindran, having been elected as the members of Councils of State, do swear in the name of God and solemnly affirm that I will bear the true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of India as by law established, that I will uphold the sovereignty and integrity of India, and that I will faithfully discharge the duty upon which I am about to enter.
Then who stands elected from the constitutionally Patna Sahib of Rajasthan will now take oath in Hindi. Sri Rohitan, please.
मैं रोहितन जो लोकसभा सदस्य निर्वाचित हुआ हूं, ईश्वर के नाम से शपथ लेता हूं कि मैं विधि द्वारा स्थापित भारत के संविधान के प्रति सच्ची श्रद्धा और निष्ठा करूंगा। मैं भारत के प्रभुता और अखंडता अक्षुण्य रखूंगा तथा जिस पद को मैं ग्रहण करने वाला हूं, उसके कर्तव्य को श्रद्धापूर्वक निर्वहन करूंगा।
Shri Paul Kirvakaran, who stands elected from the Tiruchirappalli constituency of Tamil Nadu, will now take the oath in Tamil. Shri Paul, please.
மாநில கவுன்சில் உறுப்பினராக தேர்ந்தெடுக்கப்பட்ட நான் பால் கிருபாகரன் கடவுளின் பெயரில் சத்தியம் செய்கிறேன். நான் சட்டப்படி இந்திய அரசியலமைப்புக்கு உண்மையான நம்பிக்கையும் விசுவாசத்தையும் கொண்டிருப்பேன் என்று உளமாறு உறுதிப்படுத்துகிறேன். நான் இந்தியாவின் இறையாண்மையையும் ஒருமைப்பாட்டையும் நிலைநிறுத்துவேன். மேலும் நான் ஆற்றியிருக்கும் கடமையை உண்மையாக நிறைவேற்றுவேன். நன்றி.
Shri Freddy Sam, who stands elected from the Ernakulam constituency of Kerala, will now take oath in Malayalam. Shri Freddy, please.
ഞാൻ ഫ്രെഡി സാം യോഹന്നാൻ രാജ്യസഭാ കൗൺസിൽ അംഗമായി തിരഞ്ഞെടുക്കപ്പെട്ട ഞാൻ നിയമപ്രകാരം സ്ഥാപിതമായ ഇന്ത്യൻ ഭരണഘടനയോട് യഥാർത്ഥ വിശ്വാസവും വിശ്വസ്തതയും വഹിക്കുമെന്നും ഞാൻ പരമാധികാരവും സമത്വവും ഉയർത്തിപ്പിടിക്കുമെന്നും ഞാൻ പ്രവേശിക്കാൻ പോകുന്ന കടമ വിശ്വസ്തയോടെ നിർവഹിക്കുമെന്നും ദൈവത്തിന്റെ നാമത്തിൽ സത്യം ചെയ്യുന്നു.
Kumari Jennifer, who stands elected from the Guntur constituency of Andhra Pradesh, will now take the oath in Telugu. Kumari Jennifer, please.
జెనిఫర్ అనే నేను శాసన సభ్యునిగా ఎన్నికైనందున శాసనం ద్వారా నిర్మితమైన భారత రాజ్యాంగం పట్ల నిజమైన విశ్వాసం విధేయత చూపుతానని, భారతదేశ సౌభాధికారాన్ని సమగ్రతను కాపాడుతానని, నేను స్వీకరించబోయే కర్తవ్యాన్ని సరత సాక్షులతో నిర్వహిస్తానని దైవ సాక్షిగా ప్రమాణం చేస్తున్నాను.
Here that one of India's indispensable man of politics, Mr. Pranab Mukherjee, who served as the 13th President of India from 2012 to 2017. He served as a finance minister, external affairs minister, defense minister, and leader of the Lok Sabha. 3 sitting members of the parliament, Ashok Gasti, Bali Durga Prasad Rao, Vasant Kumar, were passed away due to COVID-19. May your soul rest in peace. I extend its heartfelt condolences to the members of the bereaved family on behalf of the Parliament and the entire nation. As a mark of respect to departed souls, the House will observe a minute of silence. Secretary General, may you please convey the message of condolence to the bereaved family. Dominic, to propose special mention motion.
Law is the foundation of a democracy. Democracy can only survive and prosper if the ruler and the ruled obey the public verdict. The turn of events of the last few months in the United States are disturbing, to be polite, and it reached a dystopian level on the 6th of January. Hundreds of rioters, provoked by the defeated president, stormed into the Capitol Hill legislative building. The incident has brought ill repute to the cradle of democracy. Everyone has the right to disagree about the election result, but that should be addressed through due process of law, not violence. I stand here to propose a resolution condemning the tragic incident in the oldest democracy. Transcending political affiliation, we must stay vigilant before this unruly mob becomes a norm across the world. Any imitation of this mob will not be tolerated in our country. I assure you all. I stand here to move this special motion to condemn undemocratic practice and request everyone to follow the path of rule-based governance. Further, on behalf of the Indian population, I convey the congratulations to the newly formed government of the United States. It's a matter of pride and joy that Kamala Harris, a person of the Indian heritage, has reached the high office of another country.
Honorable Prime Minister shall now move the motion of thanks.
Honorable Speaker, members of the House, if 2020 is to be remembered in history books, it will be unanimously for one reason that befell on mankind. It is the COVID-19. This virus originated in the People's Republic of China. How it intruded the human body, the debate is still going on. We will not gain much by engaging in that debate. But the fact is that by the start of March, the world is in the virus's grip. Developed countries like Italy, Spain, Germany, UK, and even the US are facing an outbreak. As expected, in this age and time of connectivity, the COVID-19 has reached India's shores as well. The first case was reported on January 30th in Kerala. The Ministry of Health and Family Welfare had to operate blindfolded, as there was no precedence of anything like this before. As released by the authorities all over the world, we announced the lockdown, as it was the obvious strategy to contain the pandemic. Given the circumstances, in the face of the case rise, we had to extend the initial 21-day lockdown further 2 more times, 2 for exact. I take this opportunity to inform you all that strict lockdown for over 45 days gave us invaluable space to prepare health infrastructure. Once we started unlocking 1.0 by mid-June, we were ready to fight the pandemic head on. As we started reopening establishments, we saw considerable spikes in daily cases. However, our capacity building in those 2 months was such that we took control of the pandemic. I urge the members of the House to look at the population of this great country. Undoubtedly, there were hardships. People found it difficult to travel in the face of the lockdown. There were losses of livelihoods. But we hope history will judge us kindly, keeping our intentions in mind. As unlock started, economic activity found upstick. The government announced 20 lakh crore rupees of economic package, including the Atmanirbhar Bharat scheme aimed at the self-reliance of this country. Therefore, I invite the Health Minister to speak more on this topic.
Minister Kumari Bhavitra shall now conclude the motion of thanks.
Of our city was daunting task to manage. We also need to take a notice of the level of backwardness in the vast landscape of our land. Leave those facts. We brought a situation under control. COVID warrior, as named aptly, worked in overdrive to minimize the damage. 30 lakhs individuals were quarantined in assigned center. 1.6 crore professionals, deservingly named COVID warrior, worked around the clock. As a result, positive case per day, the number of unfortunate deaths were middling at worst. By September last week, we peaked daily positive cases. I'm not crowding my stand with numbers because number often overtakes the perspective about this large country. Still, I will share some crucial data. Till today, 1.6 crores are detected positive. Of those, 97% are recovered, making active 2.1 lakh cases of yesterday. During this pandemic, India have lost 1.6 lakh lives. Normal methods like plasma therapy, hydroxychloroquine were administered, and it was a success. We also supply those medications to various countries in need. From there on, we have seen study of declare both positive cases as well as deaths. Now with these Swadeshi vaccines, if I may, Covaxin and Covishield ready to be administered, we can safely assume we are on the verge of minimizing, if not eliminating, the coronavirus from our nation. It also gives me pride that our vaccines are sold after in the global market, which in turn will help our position as a medical power.
On opposition leader Shri Faisal to give the response.
Honorable Speaker, colleagues in this virtual house, I stand here to respond to the Honorable Prime Minister's address. Year 2020 was a duration of history which does not have a reference or precedence. Not for good. In this time of hardship, be it healthy, society or economy, it's our duty as parliamentarian to stand above party politics. On behalf of United Opposition, I assure the government of our continued cooperation. Nevertheless, there are concerns that the citizens of the country raise. Point 1. 50 lakh migrants labor were stuck in their workplace due to knee-jerk lockdown. The tragedy was worsened by the fact that almost all these people lost their livelihood. Resultantly, we saw thousands of laborers walking hundreds of miles to reach home. Government has to shoulder this blame such a myopic action. Speaking of economy, it is true that pandemic has caused an immense blow to Indian economy, but there is more to this picture. Lack of vision, pathetic implementation of economic reforms has pushed India into slowest GDP rate in 2019 to 2020 fiscal years. Further, there are also cases of shady financial management. When bodies like PM National Relief Fund or National Disaster Response Fund is existing for decades, the motive to create PM CAD is doubtful. On top of this, the fund is kept beyond RTI, which provides ample scope for money laundering. We can take solace in better performance compared to countries like maniacs like US or UK, but that is not the bar. We should degrade ourselves. The parliament is forced to held in virtual mode after repeated adjournments. However, It is a common sense that union minister hold election rallies of 20,000 people, violating all social norms.
Jaren, please.
On note of this, opposition condemns this government's handling of the pandemic. It is also a well-known fact by now that one of the made-in-India vaccine, Covaxin, is yet to be approved by the phase 3 trial. Unchecked vaccination can be the solution, riskier than the problem. So we demand the vaccine administration to be stopped immediately.
Now we take up the question number 201. Kumari Sherin, please.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. June 16, 2020 will be written as tragic day in India's security history. Chinese army stationed illegally since May in the Indian side of LAC, attacking Indian army personnel with barbed wire and nail bats, resulting the death of 20 of our Jawans, including an officer. The response of this government is not fitting to the occasion. It's ironic that government responses to Chinese aggression has been a ban of ads originated in that country. It's safe to comment that government's effort to be in the good book has backfired. There is no need to remind all about PM beachside morning walk with President Xi in Mahabalipuram last year. Despite aggression, our government is still indulging in both business activities with the attacker country. Opposition demands that government should stop this economic bondage to China immediately and cut all ties with it. The government continued proximity with the Trump government of the USA is a concern of our sovereignty world. World is fortunate that rain is over. We also commend that resolution passed today.
Minister of External Affairs, Kumari Ellen, please.
Thank you. Honorable Speaker, I want to assure you that the opposition that pain caused by Chinese aggression to our compatriots is shared equally by our government. When the whole world was condemning China for their role in the COVID-19 origination, they distracted global attention by engaging in the border conflict, including India. But the fact is their physical attack on our soldiers was met with equal force, which resulted in severe harm on PLA soldiers. As far as the economy is concerned, today's interconnected world requires economic collaboration. If we totally cut ties with China, it will hurt us more than them. Nevertheless, our government is doing everything possible to send a strong message to our neighbors. It is not published by China that during the clash, they suffered double the casualties than our side. It's a different matter that Chinese government could not show the spine and respect their martyrs by naming them. We have been doing all we can at the global front to discourage China from all future misadventure. The Quad, multinational alliance of Japan, Australia, USA, and India, is a formation in that direction to contain Chinese aggression in the Indo-Pacific region. We are happy that the aggressor has avoided creating fresh challenges in recent months. Thank you.
Next question, number 202, opposition member Kumari Ranjini, please.
In 2019, the Minister of the State for Home Affairs has presented a report detailing the occurrence of the possibility of love jihad. He concluded the report categorically mentioning there was no evidence to suggest the presence of phenomena, the love jihad. There is no love jihad in our country. Within a year, what do we witness? A number of Indian states promulgating ordinances prohibiting interreligious marriages, citing the danger of mentioned jihad. Is not marriage a private event between consenting adults? It seems when there are multiple burning issues raging this country is the matter of concern of elected government. It seems more of ploy to encourage communal forces in our country. Opposition demands that the law of prohibition of unlawful conversion of religion be repealed from all the states.
Opposition Leader Sri Chittambaram, please.
Further, in the pretext of pandemic-induced emergency, this government has let the country pushed into lawlessness, while comedians, social activists are being arrested for long under preventive detention. There are no actions on media tycoon, even after leak of explosive communications without. Also, godmen are allowed to fool people by marketing a proven chemical as corona medicine. Thank you.
Minister of Law Sri Daniel, please.
Respected speakers, members of the House, I have a question to ask the member of opposition. Do you follow news of celebrity converting to other religion to practice polygamy? It is sure there are thousands of cases behind public knowledge. Our government believes this misuse of religious scripture for selfish reasons cannot be encouraged. Further, radical outfits conveniently announce publicly about their motive. Keeping these in motives, I think the law prohibiting forceful conversion should be welcomed by all. I reassure you that the government has no business in the willful union of two adult individuals. It's the forceful incidents we are focusing on through this law. Further, sedition law was used by the opposition rule quite liberally. So their protest against detention of individuals involved in anti-India activities is common. We provide media houses the free platform to engage in freedom of speech, provided they do not provoke social harmony. Any media personality engaging in dealing information of national interest will not be spared. No company is allowed to sell medicine without due procedures, I assure you.
Next question number 203. Opposition member Sri Vibhu, please.
Technology adoption has become part of our lives. 2020 made it even faster. Now we are about to start our lives through 5G communication. We are happy that the government is taking steps in that direction. However, there are some doubtful practices. Reliance is repeatedly announcing about launching 5G in 2021. However, the spectrum allocation has not yet started. How the whole process can be done in a year? There are infrastructure issues in building superfast millimeter 5G networks. On the other hand, sub-6 networks will be only a little faster than 4G. It will be better if the government focus on providing reliable, faster 4G networks across the country. As citizen data are abundant over the internet, we also want a clear picture about data protection bill proposed last year.
Minister of Information Technology Sri Aju Thomas, please.
I'm glad that opposition accept the importance of advanced technology such as 5G. Semiconductor manufacturer Foxconn has invested $100 million in India and starting 5G chip development soon. So we hope the hardware must be ready by 2021 end. We will also start the spectrum auction soon. Regarding data protection, we are checking all the possibility scenarios to keep user data safe. We are putting pressure on data center companies like Facebook and Google to keep data within India territory. I don't think people will happy if we outrightly ban these companies. So we are negotiating with the companies keeping public interest in mind.
Next question number 204. Opposition member Kumari Kriba, please.
September 27, 2020, the President passed three controversial agricultural laws. They put the farmers on the mercy of companies' hands through contract farming. Further, it removes the mandates. The law also removes caps on the price of essential commodities. These laws are unconstitutional on many grounds. First, agriculture is a state subject. The center has no business in making laws for that. These laws are passed without any consultation with civil society, and it violates the fundamental rights by which the government had to protect the marginalized farmers of this country. This move to hands over the livelihood of 58% of India's population to big companies will be a black mark on our democracy.
Honorable Speaker, as Agriculture Minister of India, I want to respond to the opposition. A law to protect the price of farming produce, one law to reduce the problem of middlemen, and another law to reduce the government interference in the agriculture. It is beyond common sense that opposition members are trying to make an issue out of these pro-farmer laws. Even the opposition tried to bring these laws into action when in power, but due to lack of political courage, could not execute.
Prime Minister Shri Dominic, please.
I would like to remind the House that under Entry 33, production, supply, and distribution of agriculture is placed under the concurrent list. So I hope it clears the doubts of agriculture being a state subject. The laws collectively protect farmers by adding various measures in contract farming. We also made sure to reduce the tight hold of APMC by eliminating mandis. We are repeatedly assuring the MSP or the minimum support price, which is here to stay. Most economists and agricultural scientists are approving of the laws. It is unfortunate that the opposition is creating a political mileage for them by provoking honest farmers into protests. We are open for discussions, but equally strong will to implement it. Come what may.
The arrogance of the leader of opposition, Shri Faisal, please.
The arrogance of this government is alarming. To the idols of our nation, it has discarded month-long protests of helpless farmers facing extreme hardship. It has shown no consideration even for alliance partners. It will be a disservice to the citizens of India if opposition doesn't put itself on the line. So, with constant of united opposition, I stand to request Honorable to call upon a no confidence motion against the autocratic government.
The united opposition has moved a no confidence motion against the government. The polling link to the vote for the motion is sent to your devices. Vote within 15 seconds. Members who are in favor of the motion, click aye. Members who are against the motion, click nay. Okay, now I received the votes and the result is the nice have it, the nice have it, the nice have it, and the government remains in power.